All right, so here's some multiple choice questions. This is a grade 8 paper that was actually written at the Umkhanya Kude District, grade 8 mathematics paper 1, November 2023. Time allocated is 1 hour 30 minutes and the marks 60. You can see most of the instructions, answer all questions, show all calculations. Very important. Remember to give reasons where applicable. Make use of the calculators. Right, neat and legible, please, right, so that you can be seen what you are doing. Correct your answer into 2 decimals. Do not write with a pencil. Very important. Grade 8, you guys need to make sure you write with a pen, not a pencil. Right, only when you are sketching a graph do you write with a pencil, but as far as writing with a pen, you need to make sure you write with a pen. I know that in grade 7 you're so used to doing that, but we need to actually learn and unlearn this thing of writing with a pencil. Yeah. Number the answers correctly according to the numbering used in this question paper. Please, you need to do that. This question paper consists of 6 questions. So I'm just going to do part 1 of this question paper, which is just the multiple choices, question 1. So the first question is, solve for x if 2x minus 6 is equal to 8. So very quickly, all right, you don't just circle the answers, because some people here, they circle the answers. Look at each question. The mark allocation is 2 marks. So what you want to do here is that before you even answer the question, you want to have some rough paper so that you can be able to work out the answer. If there's working out that needs to be done, then only after working out you can circle the right option. Don't be childish here and start circling, the answers. That's not very fair and it's not good for you. Okay, I know that some of you, since it's exam season, what's happening is that maybe you're going to a school, you are writing, right? And then you go home, right? Please do not make the mistake of not utilizing the time that is open for you at home to actually prepare adequately for the exams. It's dangerous to do that. Use the time that is available for you to be at home. Have a timetable and then set aside time to basically cover all the subjects that you need to cover. To use time and just sit there not do anything is dangerous. So please, let's organize our time. All right, so back at this question. So as it says, there's multiple choice questions. Choose the correct answer. In other words, i.e. 1.8 equal to f. So what you need to do is that in the question paper, you are going to have to actually go and write down the question 1.1, and then next to it, what you then do is you actually write the letter. You don't write the answer, you write the letter that represents the right answer. All right. So it says solve for x if 2x minus 6 is equal to 8. So on the side, I've written down 2x minus 8 is equal to 8. This is a solve for x question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 2x. I'm going to then transpose the negative 6 is going to go over to the other side, which becomes 8 minus 6. Obviously, the 8 is there. I have minus 6 on the other side. Is this right, what I've done? No, it's not. Okay, because sometimes people do exactly that. They take the minus 6, they transpose it, but there's no sign change. So let's remember that when you transpose a term to the other side, it has to change its sign. So the negative 6 is now plus 8. Then we have 2x is equal to what? To 14. Right? Then we need to then divide both sides by 2, because 2 and x, the relationship is multiply. So what we do when we want to get rid of this 2, we divide by 2. But what we do on the left, we must do on the right. So x is equal to, what's 14 divided by 2? It's 7. So x is equal to 7. I just want to explain where this transposing negative 6 and it becoming positive 6 on the other side comes from. So 2x minus 6, we were to rewrite it, okay? We use what we call the additive inverse. So we add 6 because the additive inverse of minus 6 is plus 6. But what we do on the left, we must do where? On the right, okay? And then we have 2x. What's minus 6 plus 6? That becomes 0. And then 8 plus 6 becomes 14. So please understand that it's coming from the idea of additive inverse. That's why we actually just take the negative 6 and we transpose it to the other side and we write plus 6 on the other side. It's coming from the concept of additive inverse. Then 2 and x are multiplied to each other. So what do we do when we want to get rid of the 2? We divide by 2 both sides. all right? We divide by the coefficient. So if this was -2, I would divide by -2. But since it's +2, we divide over 2. Yeah, so therefore x is equal to what? To 7. So if I'm going to answer the multiple choice question, in my answer script, I'm going to write 1.1. And according to how I've been guided, I'm going to say 1.1, and I'm going to say is equal to, now the option x is equal to 7 is A. So I'm going to say 1.1 equal to A. Does that make sense? So 1.1 has been answered. Then I move on to 1.2. Go to the question, read it first. A car travels for 300 kilometers at an average speed of 65 kilometers per hour. How long does it take the car to cover the distance? So this is a typical rate question. You know the topic rate? In rate, we have, so I'm going to go to my rough paper. Okay, if you remember very well, we have D, S, and T. And then we have formulas that come from that. Distance is equal to speed times time, all right? Since they are next to each other. Speed is equal to, so speed is equal to D over T. And then time is equal to D over S, all right? So these are the formula I'm supposed to know. And this triangle here, DSTV, satellite dish, I usually say that to my learners, is just there to help us remember the formulas, okay? Distance is equal to speed times time, because S and T are next to each other, so it only can be multiplication. Then speed is equal to distance over time. That's already D over T, right? And then time is equal to distance over speed. So these are the formulas that I would need for that. So here we are told a car travels for 300 kilometers at an average speed of 65 kilometers per hour. So I need to identify what is 300 kilometers. So 300 kilometers is distance. It cannot be speed, okay, because speed is not measured in kilometers. It cannot be time, because time is not measured in kilometers. At an average speed of 65 kilometers per hour. Now we are told that the speed is 65 kilometers per hour. How long? Now, how long? Sometimes people tend to think the minute you say how long, that must mean distance. No, in this case, how long does it take the car to cover the distance? Right? How long means time. So T is equal to, we don't know. How long does it take? So now we are going to actually check, all right? Which formula wants us to find out time? It's not this one, that's out. It's not this one, it's this one, because here the subject is time. So we're going to say T is equal to D over S. T is equal to distance. We write 300 kilometers. We divide it by 65 kilometers per hour. Then time. Okay, then we grab our calculator. Since T is equal to 300 kilometers over 65 kilometers per hour, we grab our calculator, we go to it, we use that fraction function there, and we say 300 over, then we say 65, okay, 300 over 65, and we say equal. It gives us 60 over 13, but if we want to express that fraction as a decimal, we come here and we press OSD. And then we get 4,61. Okay. Now, if you look at our answers are one unit, one decimal place, one decimal place, 1 unit. So basically 4,61. 4,61. 5384615. Okay. Hours, right? Because that's time. Hours. But then we're gonna look. All right, if I round this off to one unit, this becomes, the 6 says to the 4 go up by 1, so this would be 5 hours, right? Do I have 5 hours here? No, I don't. If I round this off to 1 decimal place, this becomes, okay, 1 decimal place, the 1 says to the 6, we stay the same, so it's 4,6 hours. Do I have 4,6 hours there? Yes, I do, and it's the option C. So the option there, 1.2 is equal to C. Okay, hopefully that makes so much sense. All right. And look at, I've used, it's like 9 minutes 52 seconds, and the only reason why that is the case is because I'm explaining. But these questions shouldn't take me more than 4 minutes to complete, like 1.2 and 1.1 together. Then we go to 1.3. 1.3 is calculate the cube root of 125 plus the square root of 81. What is the answer? So basically, since this is just simply like a calculate, I can simply use my calculator, all right? So what I can do is I can say shift, and then I can say cube root, and then put in that 125, then say plus, all right? Now take note that the plus is not inside the cube root, it's actually next to it. So I need to just make sure that I move my cursor a bit forward so that that plus is actually outside the cube root. Then I say square root of 81. Then I say equal. I get the answer 14. So if I go to my options there, I have 2, which is A, 16, which is B, C, which is 14, D, which is 64. And I know that the answer there is actually, it's C. All right, very nice, well done. Okay, if I was given this question as a simplified question, then I wouldn't use my calculator to basically get the answer. I would do it step by step. And I think by that I mean, if I have the cube root of 125 plus the cube root of 81, cube root of 125, I can simply just use my calculator. That becomes 5 plus the cube root of 81 is, the square root of 81 is 9. Okay, I get marks for showing this. And then 9 plus 5 is 14. Okay, step by step. If we were given this question just as a simplified question and there was no multiple choice to it. All right, so that's very important. Okay, because simply writing the answer, if it was a simplified question that was a standalone, is not enough. We would have to show it step by step. Cube root of 125 is 5, square root of 81 is 9, and then 9 plus 5 is 14. Okay, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. But writing C, which is the answer that we got there, obviously would give us the 2 marks. 1.4, we have an exponential equation, 2 to the power y is equal to 32, then the value of y is. So let's check this out. So we go and do it rough. 2 to the power y is equal to 32. Remember, in the laws of exponents, there's that thing that says if a to the power x is equal to a to the power y, then x is equal to y. So what needs to happen is that the bases need to be the same on either side of the equal sign. Because when they are, and we have single bases on each side that are the same, we can drop the base and then we can equate the exponents. X is equal to y. Okay, then x is equal to y. So here 2 to the power y is equal to 32. 2 to the power y is equal to 32. I think since now we are at this pivotal point in our maths career, what we can do is that if you don't know how to write 32 with a base 2, what you can do simply here is you can go to your calculator and simply type in. And here's the method. 32, then you say equal, then you can say shift, and then you can go to fact here, fact. And there we go. What do you see? 2 to the power 5. So now you can write 32 as an exponent, 2 to the power 5. Something else maybe just to remember as well is that you guys learned this ladder method, how to write a number as a product of its prime factors. Okay. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. Right, the prime number that goes in 32 is 2. 2 goes into 32 how many times? 16. Another prime number that goes into 2, which is the smallest, is 2. It goes into 16 how many times? 8 times. Another prime number that goes into 2, that goes into 8 is 2. Goes how many times? 4 times. Another prime number that's the smallest that goes into 4 is 2. It goes how many times? 2 times. Another small prime number that goes into 2 is 2. Goes how many times? Once. Once we get to 1, it means we are done. How many 2s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 32 is equal to 2 to the power 5. So yes, 2 to the power y is equal to 2 to the power 5. So then the bases are the same. What does the law say, or the property say? If the bases are the same, we drop the base, we equate the exponent. So y is equal to 5. Do we have an option that is like that? Y is equal to 12, it's not A. Y is equal to 64, it's not B. Y is equal to 5, definitely C. D, not even. 1.4 is equal to C. And last but not least, 1.5. If A is equal to -1, B is equal to -3, and C is equal to 4, the value of these expression, okay, so they were actually supposed to say the value of this expression is, okay, Yeah, because these would basically in English mean we're talking about many expressions. Okay, we have an expression, all right, 3b squared minus c. So if a is equal to -1, b is equal to -3, and c is equal to 4, the value of this expression is. So what we do in rough, just so that we can actually have some working here, just very quickly, 3b squared minus c. A is equal to -1, B is equal to -3, C is equal to 4. In the expression we have B and C, we don't have A, so we're not going to have to worry about substituting A in our expression. But B, so we're going to go there, 3, in the place of B we substitute -3 squared, minus, in the place of C we substitute the value 4 in brackets. This is very important that whenever you do this thing, you substitute using brackets. Very, very important. Okay. Then you apply BODMAS, which is very important. 3, -3 squared. Now a negative sign exposed to a even exponent on the outside will lead to a positive answer. Okay. So the exponent will affect the sign. It will also affect the number. 3 squared is 9, so that's positive 9. Minus times a positive 4 is -4. Then what's 3 times positive 9? Because the brackets are still there, it's 27. What's 27 minus 4? 27 minus 4 is 23. So the value of this expression is 23, right? So if we go back then there, we can see that A, 4, not the answer. B, -12, not the answer. C, equal to 16, not the answer. D is equal to 23, that is our answer. So when we basically go back and answer the question, 1.5 is equal to a glorious number equal D, 23. All right, I hope that was very helpful. And that is question 1 of our multiple choice. 2 marks apiece, and these 2 marks, very critical. I can tell you now, these are 100% correct. I've applied the right maths, and I've applied things very well. Right? Let's not forget that here we actually apply BODMAS, as they would call it, BODMAS, brackets. Then we landela with exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Which is why, for instance, the exponents receive priority. For the bracket, we make sure that we apply what is there. We can't just take this 3 and multiply with this -3 before we apply the exponent inside the bracket. Okay, then when we've applied the exponent inside the bracket, then later on we can multiply, and then later on we can subtract according to the order of BODMAS. Brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Okay, hopefully that was helpful.